Please stand. Let us pray. Dear God, it's me, Lake. I know this won't be a surprise to you, but we made it. That is all thanks to you, of course. And so we wanted to thank you for sticking with us on our journey through middle school. Over the past 3 years, we've had some tough days and some amazing days. And we want to thank you for helping us through our hard times and for laughing with us through our good times. Every time we didn't get the grade we wanted on a test, and every time we did get picked for a team, you were there, seeing us through. Dear God, you were there through victories and defeats, through A's and D's, through water shortages, pandemics, and losses to Macaulay or GPS. And you saw us through it all with love and community. You were there during the big moments, like our first day of 6th grade, our first school dance, and our group bonding adventures on the 8th grade trip. And you saw us through it all with love and community. Dear God, there are many big moments yet to come for us, and so we pray that you stay with us as we begin high school. There'll be many joys, of course, but it'll be probably no surprise to you that there will also be times we mess up, want to give up, and are tempted to blow up. In those times especially, we will need your help to get up, stand up, and keep on going. We are asking you to watch over us. We're asking you to guide us down the right path. We are asking you to teach us to act with love and community. Dear God, thank you for being with us these past few years and for staying with us always in these years to come. Sincerely, the class of 2026. Amen.
You may be seated. Thank you, Lake. Good evening, parents, students, faculty, and guests. I am incredibly excited to be speaking to you today in this place. Fun fact, this is only my second time experiencing this ceremony in the chapel, and I barely remember the first time. It was my first year at Baylor after all, and somehow the last 4 years have felt like 10. My second year, this class's 6th grade year, we held this event virtually, and then last year we were in Haywood Stadium. I was incredibly grateful for the ability to gather last year in some capacity, but I am immensely more grateful for the air conditioning this year. More importantly, I am grateful to be back in this place, the symbol of community and connectedness. It is a symbol of what makes Baylor such a special place to learn, work, and live. So, welcome back. Second fun fact, and my last for the evening, middle school is the shortest phase of a student's educational career. And yet, they experience the greatest developmental changes outside of infancy in that short amount of time. While infancy is known as a time of wonder, early adolescence can be awkward, frustrating, and just plain weird. Very few adults would want to go back in time to be 12 all over again. In fact, new acquaintances will sometimes look at me as if I have 10 eyes when they learn of my chosen profession. Middle school gets a bad rap. But if folks spent a day in my world, they would see the beauty of this age. Just take a walk through Barks Hall, and you will experience the full breadth of human emotion in just 10 minutes. You might see a child on a bench completely immersed in a book or finishing homework assignment they should have completed 2 nights ago. This level of focus is not often glimpsed in early adolescence, so you would make note of its peculiarity. You might pass a group of students laughing and joking with each other, steadily getting louder and rowdier. Laughter so authentic that it is contagious, and you chuckle to yourself rather than shushing them. You might come across a group of boys practicing the Bach step or the waltz for an upcoming cotillion, with nary a girl in sight. Walk down a flight of stairs and you'll see a circle of girls speaking in hushed tones as they console a friend whose boyfriend, who she has never seen outside of school, just broke up with her. Dating in middle school is hard. And in another moment, you might witness a group of 8th graders experience the agony of defeat after racing Mr. Marrow down the hall for a speed walking competition. This is the heart of middle school, where students can debate the ethical nature of laws in one moment, and a few seconds later lament about whether their sneakers are cool enough to wear to a sleepover. Despite the typical and not so typical ups and downs of middle school, the class of 2026 has learned what it means to be a Baylor student. They have learned how to be better readers, writers, mathematicians, scientists, historians, artists, actors, and musicians, and they've learned how to win and lose on the field. But this class has also left an indelible mark on Baylor as well. They started the leadership group, the Middle School Advisory Council, who, by the way, brought back the social dance in middle school. They raised record numbers of turkeys for the Chattanooga Area Food Bank, and they brought student voice and spirit back to our Friday Flex programs. This class is the epitome of community and connectedness that is so cherished here at Baylor. And they did it all despite the unusual circumstances of a global pandemic. I know they will go on to do great things in upper school, and that their impact will be felt in Baylor and beyond. It personally has been a great joy to watch your children grow from small 6th graders who viewed the world in black and white to the sometimes gigantic 8th graders who see and understand the gray. Through it all, I have come to appreciate their intellectual insights, their sometimes squirrely tendencies, their remarkable resilience, and their fierce love for their friends. Thank you for sharing your children with us. Now, I could go on all night telling you just how great your kids are, but I think it's better that you hear from some other folks, including the students themselves. So tonight, we will celebrate our students' achievements in academics, athletics, fine arts, and leadership, and hear from 2 speakers from the class of 2026 who exemplify just how special this class is. The first speaker was selected by a faculty committee after conducting a blind review, which means the committee doesn't know who wrote each essay. Riley Malden was selected to share how meaningful the Baylor community has been to her. Later in the program, you'll hear from another student speaker, William Hubbard, who was chosen by his peers to represent the class of 2026. Then later, after our 8th graders cross the stage to be acknowledged, they will be formally welcomed to the upper school by the chair-elect of the Honor Council and member of the class of 2023, Marguerite Pippinger. As you listen to these extraordinary students, I invite you to reflect on their many successes. But before we get there, one last thing. To the class of 2026, take a moment to remember the people who sit behind you in the audience tonight. Your mom, your dad, your aunts and uncles, your grandparents, maybe even your annoying little sister or brother. And remember the teachers who have ushered you to this point. Collectively, each and every one of those individuals have been behind you on this journey, pushing you forward and supporting you, just as they are tonight. Now, as you sit here looking forward to the next part of your journey, don't forget that you have an entire Baylor community behind you, cheering you on. Trust that every lesson, lecture, reward, and consequence comes from a place of love. Remember, we are here to help you become a better person, and we believe in you. And with that, please welcome Ms. Riley Malden to the podium as the faculty chosen speaker for the class of 2026.
Good evening to the class of 2026, parents, teachers, and guests. My name is Riley Malden, and I'm honored to be one of this evening's speakers. I would like to say thank you so much to everyone who has given me the opportunity to speak tonight and the opportunity to attend this school. Many schools around the area have red as their color, but Baylor Red burns the brightest and helps shine a light on how much I love this place. When I was asked to speak about my experience at Baylor, it was an overwhelming task for sure. It was hard to think of only 2 to 3 things that would speak for my first year at Baylor. I was given the choice to talk about my entire middle school experience, which involved another school, or just my time at Baylor. I chose to talk about my first year at Baylor because my experience here has been so wonderful and so much more meaningful than my prior middle school years. People will say, "Oh, you're just being dramatic." I'm good at that too, but we're not speaking on that topic. However, I mean it when I say Baylor is truly one of the most magnificent places I have attended to this point in my life. From academics to activities, as well as all of the social opportunities, I cannot think of a more wonderful place to learn and to grow. Even though there were many things I could have chosen to speak about, I think friendship, finding my place, and kindness help demonstrate what have become some of the most important lessons that I have learned during this year. In general, trying new things can be very intimidating and scary, and that certainly includes attending a new school. My parents helped me make the decision to attend Baylor. At first, I was not sure if Baylor was for me, and it required me to step outside my comfort zone and have faith that it would be a better fit for me and my education. My mom jokes with me and says she has never made a bad decision a day in her life. However, my parents were right, and the decision to attend Baylor was such a good one. After being here for a year, one of the things that I have come to realize is that the class of 2026 could be seen as a puzzle. This puzzle has no edges nor borders that keep a person out, and there's always room for one more piece to be added. Sometimes the pieces get scattered or a new piece gets added, but in the end, the puzzle always gets put back together to form a prettier picture than before. This year, being the new student, what became very clear to me is that each piece of the Baylor puzzle is equally important and works together to complete that beautiful picture. I discovered in the first week of school the new piece of the puzzle, who was me, was being allowed to fit into place. As the year went on, it was a slow process, but every "Hi, Riley" that I got from people passing made me feel very welcome. I remember the other week, one of my friends and I were talking, and I said, "I know I've only been here for a year, but it feels like I've been here for my whole life." Everything about this school has made me feel included as part of the Baylor family. Many of the students have known each other for years, while some have not, but for me it's hard to tell the difference. New friends are an important part of fitting into a new school. I have met some friends that have become important core supports in my life and has stuck with them throughout this year. On my first day, I was nervous. So nervous, in fact, that I barely talked on the car ride here, and that's saying a lot because I love to talk. I had my first class with another student who has become one of my best friends. We stuck together throughout the week, and even though we thought we had it all figured out, we ended up getting an infraction for being 10 minutes late. Yes, I said 10, not 2, on the first week of school. We had just gotten out of PE, and it took us about 5 minutes to change. We thought we had plenty of time, but as we were walking up the hill, my friend asked, "Where is everyone?" I assured her that we were just early. However, once we walked through the front door of Barks, we were in for a rude awakening. Miss Bankston told us that we were 10 minutes late, and we both had a mini panic attack. That was not my proudest moment. I have since made many more friends who have become especially important to me and learned how to get up the hill faster. I quickly became part of the beautiful picture the puzzle created. One of the things middle school is all about is finding who your closest friends are and learning to trust and respect them. Baylor has introduced me to some of the most trustworthy people that I have ever come to know. My dad, aka one of the smartest people I know, has always told me that middle school is the time that I will begin to figure out who my loyal friends are and the qualities that I choose to be around. Baylor brought me together with some truly great friends and made me realize that even though we may not always see eye to eye on everything, in the end, learning to work out our differences is a big part of becoming the person teachers at Baylor want us to be when we leave here in a few years. Kindness is another quality that Baylor promotes. One of the reasons that the final picture of the Baylor puzzle is so beautiful is because of the kindness in this community's heart. The first time I learned that one of the qualities I want in a friend is kindness was when I was at my grandparents' house. My grandparents are very active in the church and participate with a lot of other organizations that help people in need. One day when I was visiting my grandparents, I was out in the garage with my Mimi. I was helping her pack things for someone who was homeless. While we packed food, we talked about how she takes this food to her person and her pets every week. What really stood out to me was that even though my Mimi barely knows this person, she was still helping her. I wondered why and realized that it was not only about helping a person in need, but also helping yourself to become a better human being. Baylor calls different speakers to promote the importance of compassion to the students here. That is one of the reasons that the community here is so accepting. We are constantly reminded of how important it is to be kind and to respect one another. Now it is important to us to be accepting and to always make new students feel welcome and help them find their place. Looking back, I feel that my life has been designed to fit into the Baylor puzzle. I would love to name every single family member, friend, and teacher that has helped me find my place, but there are too many to count. I love Baylor, and I'm so grateful for every person in the class of 2026. As one of the new pieces of the puzzle, I have always felt included. Next year, new pieces will add to the puzzle, and this time I will get to be part of it. I am so excited to see what is yet to come and how this beautiful puzzle will develop with all of you guys. Thank you. Please welcome Coach Mato to present awards to the class of 2026.
Good evening. It's my privilege to announce the Middle School Department and Leadership Awards. The Studio Art Award is given for talent, achievement, and an eagerness to develop abilities in visual art. The award is a copy of the art book and is awarded to Braley Newell. The Music Award is given to students who have contributed the most to music through leadership, enthusiasm, and participation. The award is a copy of Music, the Definitive Visual History, and the award goes to Piper Ryan. The Theater Award is given for enthusiasm, effort, and participation both in class and in the extracurricular activities of the Baylor Players. The award is a copy of The Play That Changed My Life, and the recipient is Hadley Grower. The Dance Award is given for enthusiasm, effort, and leadership, both in class and in the extracurricular activities of Verve. The award is a copy of Dancers Among Us, a celebration of joy in the everyday, and the recipient is Riley Malden. The World Language Awards are given to students who have exhibited a keen interest in and enthusiasm for the study of other languages and cultures. These students display passion for communicating in other languages and are tenacious in their pursuit of enhancing their language skills. For the Chinese Award is a copy of Chinese Myths and Legends, The Monkey King, and the award goes to William Hubbard. The French Award is a copy of Le Petit Prince, and the award goes to Sam Scarce. For German, the award is the German book Tintenherz, and the award goes to Addie Morgan. The award in Latin is, forgive me, Miss Vines, Harrius Potter et Philosophi Lapis, and the award goes to Jim Bradshaw. The Spanish Award is a copy of Made in Spain, and the recipient is William Barker. The Ethics Award is given for insightful thinking, avid reading, and thoughtful writing. The recipients of this award have demonstrated genuine concern for the well-being of their peers in and out of class. The award is a copy of Night by Elie Wiesel, and the recipient is Nathan Plavick. The Civics Award is given for comprehension of the fragile structure of our government and the demanding requirements of a democracy. These students accept the responsibility to uphold their civic duty with dignity, spirit, compassion, and honor. They fully embrace the maxim of their civics class: understand yourself, understand the issues, and get involved. The award is a copy of Our Defense, the Bill of Rights in Action, and the recipient is Shanina Dong. The Science Award is given for enthusiasm for the study of science, a questioning mind, and an eagerness to work independently. The award is a copy of Storm in a Teacup, The Physics of Everyday Life, and the award goes to Gavin Boggs. The Mathematics Award is for enthusiasm, achievement, and creative problem solving in mathematics. The award is a copy of Humble Pie, a comedy of math errors, and the recipient is James McCorkle. The English Award is given for a keen interest in reading and writing. These students are passionate readers and creative and thoughtful writers. The awards are a leather-bound journal and a calligraphy pen set. The award goes to Josie Bankston. The Scholar Athlete Award is given annually to the 8th graders who compete at the highest level in the classroom and on the athletic fields. The award is a copy of the book Letters to a Young Athlete by Chris Bosch. The recipients are Lily Catalanato and Ezra Sixto. The Salutatory Award is given each year to the 8th grader achieving the scholarly distinction of having the second highest average in the class. The award is a silver tray. This year's salutatorian is Piper Ryan. The Dean R. Sterling Valedictory Award, named in honor of a man who devoted well over half of his life to serving Baylor School, is presented each year to the 8th grade student with the highest academic average in the class. The award is a silver tray. This year's valedictorian is William Hubbard. Sponsored by the Chickamauga chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution, the DAR Youth Citizenship Model was established to foster among school children a greater appreciation of the qualities of citizenship Americans must possess if our country is to remain sovereign and independent. This medal presented to a student who exemplifies the qualities of honor, service, courage, leadership, and patriotism. This year's recipient is Olivia Newton. Awarded by a vote of a faculty committee, the Cadre Award is presented each year to a middle school student who exhibits the qualities of Cadre, who is an outstanding member of the class of '91. These qualities include a compassionate, caring attitude towards others and an extraordinary enthusiasm exhibited in all aspects of Baylor life. The awards are a check for $100 and a Jefferson Cup. We have one recipient this year. Her advisor writes, "This year's recipient of the Cadre Award is a young woman who has stood out for her poise, intelligence, curiosity, and caring since she entered the Baylor community. As a scholar, an athlete, and a friend, she never hesitates to go the extra mile or look for opportunities to do more, whether it's engaging with a homework assignment, running extra laps, or helping a classmate in need. She has a wonderfully witty sense of humor and is also deeply empathetic to others. Despite her manifold skills, she is humble, self-deprecating, and not afraid to take risks in class. Her quiet confidence inspires her peers and all whom she comes in contact with. Indeed, all of this year's recipient's qualities would be impressive enough had she developed them over the course of 3 years at Baylor. But she has made this kind of mark on the others in our community only her first months on the Hill. For her immeasurable contributions to our community and the hope of many more in years to come, Anna Stoddard is this year's recipient of the Cadre Award." The Dr. Alexander Gary Award is one of the most prestigious awards a 7th or 8th grader can win. The award is given annually to 2 middle school students, a boy and a girl, in the 7th or 8th grades who are considered by a vote of the 7th and 8th grade student body to be the best all around. A description of the award read to students at the time of the election is as follows. In recognition of an attitude which best exemplifies a middle school student, we seek to identify a middle school boy and girl whose sincerity, spirit, enthusiasm, honesty, and talent are not only noteworthy, but also apparent in a wide range of middle school activities. In voting for this award, we honor 2 students whose efforts and achievements for the year reflect diversity and excellence. The award is an engraved Revere Bowl. Her advisor writes, "Spirited, enthusiastic, honest, and talented are the main descriptors of the Gary Award. However, this student is all of those things and more. This student is fierce, competitive, smart, kind, and most importantly, a leader. She can lead in the classroom as well as on many athletic teams, displaying confidence while working through any obstacle that is thrown her way. She has a perseverance that is often unmatched and knows no boundaries, putting consistent effort towards challenges both in and out of the classroom. Beneath the layer of athletic and academic prowess lies an equally impressive heart, as this student is described by her peers and teachers as empathetic and kind, an individual who treats everyone fairly and with respect. For her confidence, empathy, and unending Baylor spirit, Lily Catalanato has been selected to receive this year's Alexander Gary Award." And for our second recipient, his advisor writes, "This recipient for the Gary Award is the epitome of best all around, through his positive attitude and enthusiastic love for Baylor. Middle school years tend to be an awkward time in a child's life. Middle school students are typically uncertain and self-conscious. However, this young man is consistently confident, accepting of others, kind, and compassionate. He has incredible drive and work ethic. He maintains a positive attitude even when working through difficult geometry proofs. He is a cheerleader for all and genuinely happy for others' successes. This person represents Baylor and gives his all, whether he is on the wrestling mat or the soccer field. He represents Baylor enthusiastically in all that he does and has already made a positive difference in the world. We are all better for knowing this young man. Congratulations on earning this honor, and thank you for you. It's my privilege to present the Alexander Gary Leadership Award to William Hubbard." Congratulations to all of our award winners. And now I'd like to welcome our next class of 2026 speaker as chosen by the students, Mr. William Hubbard.
Hey everyone. I hope you're all enjoying our promotion so far. Before we get started, I'd first like to convey how honored I am that I was chosen to speak today. It means more than I can say. Thank you. On behalf of the 8th grade, I'd also like to really extend gratitude towards all of the faculty, siblings, parents, grandparents, and everyone who went to the effort of being here to support us as we move into the upper school. Thank you, Mom and Dad, and thank you all. What's the shortest amount of time you've ever had to write a paper? At the very beginning of my second semester of American Studies last year, we were assigned to write a book report. It was due the first day back from Easter break, so I decided, yeah, I'll just do it over break. Anyway, Easter time rolled around, and I hadn't even opened the book. Overwhelmed with the amount of work that lay ahead of me, I made the awesome decision to just continue to not work on it. Next thing I knew, it was the night before school, and I had yet to read even a single word, let alone write the actual report. Somehow, after a rough night of trying about every method to stay awake, including caffeine, splashing freezing cold water on my face, and listening to hardcore death metal music, which was a definite first, I managed to scrape out an acceptable book report by around 4 in the morning. This panic that I felt while cramming a ridiculous amount of work into a way too short time span reminds me a lot of the suspense right before a race. That feeling of looking across a sea of other runners, hugely outnumbering those on your team. In these moments, it's important to look around at your teammates and coaches, and in my life, that's all of you. My coaches are my teachers and family, and I'm running with the class of 2026. In this race that we call life, my fellow students and I have had great times and grown together through the challenging times. We've put in so much effort just to get here, but we're not to the finish line. We're not even halfway through school yet. While this may be daunting to think about, it's also thrilling to know that we have so many adventures waiting for us in the future. But if you're ever feeling stressed, that's okay. We all do sometimes. But in moments like these, when it seems like we're being left behind by the other runners, it's important to look over our shoulder and see the starting line far behind us. In these moments of doubt, it's also crucial to reach out to other runners to pull us up. I realized this the hard way in my second semester of 7th grade. I was struggling, and that book report was just one of the challenges I was trying to juggle at that time. I had too much on my plate, and everything just seemed so hard. I was determined not to reach out, though. Whenever someone would hold out their hand to me, I would insist, nah, I'm all good. I felt determined to show everyone that I didn't need any help. I would pull myself up and keep on running, but this wasn't working. I would rise to my feet and begin to jog, but I would always run out of air and collapse again. I was afraid of breathing too loudly. After a tough half year, I finally made it to the summer that would be just what I needed to get running again. Every year, I go to an awesome, week-long, overnight summer camp located along the Tennessee River. It has a ton of fun activities that you can do, such as archery, paddleboarding, and my personal favorite, the blob, a giant, floating, inflatable pillow that allows you to launch your friends high up into the air and back down into the lake. Anyway, towards the final days of every week of camp, one of our cabin counselors, basically our parents away from home, would have an individual talk with each of us. I had been dreading this talk all week because my counselors would always encourage me and my other cabin mates during their conversations to talk about the things that were troubling us. I would usually just say nothing was bothering me, trying to get through the conversation as fast as possible. But this time, it didn't go like that. After spending 6 months pretending I had everything under control, I truly opened up to someone. No lies, no acting fine, no trying to change the subject or escape the discussion. Just honest conversation with another imperfect human like myself. For the book report that I mentioned earlier, we were allowed to choose any book about any person to write about. I chose to read The Man Who Thought Different, a biography of Steve Jobs. In an interview with the Silicon Valley Historical Association, Jobs tells the story of how, at the age of 12, just calling Hewlett-Packard to ask for spare parts led to an internship at that very same company. He continues on to say how this habit of simply asking people for help was one of the biggest contributors to his success in business and in changing the world. While this is very applicable to a career, I believe that this method can also be used to change someone's life. During that time, when I was trying to face every challenge alone, there were many people there to help and support me, and as I learned from my cabin counselor, all I had to do was ask. After camp, my life began to slowly change for the better. I learned that nobody has all the answers, but asking others for help brings us one step closer. While comparing life to a race helped me to tell my story, life isn't actually a race. Sure, we're all running, but we're all running together. When someone falls down, we need to help them up. And when we fall down, we need to reach out our hand. Thank you all. Please welcome back Coach Mato and Miss Lindsay to present the class of 2026.
And now Miss Lindsay and I will present the class of 2026 as they come up and accept their cards. Vivian McMillan Arnold. Presley Sierra Beatty. Alexander Charles Bailey. Josephine Sun Bankston. William Davenport Barker. Sophia Grace Bell. Hunt McClellan Bennett. Piper Zoe Benton. Bhuvan Maximilian Badra. Benjamin McGuire Bohm. Gavin David Boggs. James Connor Bradshaw. Gavin Carter Brock. Huntley Bernard Brown IV. Daniel Richard Bruce. Amelia Mackenzie Buell. Charles Bradford Byram. Madison Ann Campbell. Lily Page Catalanato. Wesley Chi. Audrey Michelle Cookston. Caroline Lane Curtis. Marley K. Degenhart. Shanina Dong. Nathaniel Humphreys Farnham. Mason Patrick Finley. Mia Regal Ferrato. Logan Autry Fox. Avery Preston Glover. Gabrielle Haven Goldstein. James Kavanaugh Grantham. Hadley Noel Grower. Emma Catherine Haney. Brown Charles Harbison. Jackson Fitch Hatmaker. Kaylin Dean Hawk. Annabelle Kate Henry. Bowen Wyatt Hogue. Brett Edward Hogue. James Armstrong Hogue. William Ethan Hubbard. Hannah Rachel Jones. Ray Catherine Karimian. Jonathan Romine King. Kira Corchigina. Jeremy McClure Kropf. Petra Annalise Lund. John Daniel Martin IV. Riley Elizabeth Malden. Quentin Clark McCain. Mary Greer McCauley. James Tillman McCorkle. Wyatt Andrew McDaniel. Kimber Grace McKenzie. Parker Thomas Mills. Max Daniel Mininger. John Timothy Mitch III. Robert William Lakatos Montgomery. Addison Shea Morgan. Zach Harvey Morrison. Brayley Jordan Newell. Olivia Newton. Allison Grace Noland. Brandon Thomas Oakes. Nathan Brendan Plavick. Caben Steele Plumley. Tara Sloan Prophet. Jenna Michelle Quarfort. Ava Danielle Raber. Riley Jane Ramey. Cadence Kira Reeves. Paul Wayne Richardson III. Carly Reese Rogers. Ella Gray Rogers. Henry Tarver Rolston II. Cole Johnson Rose. Piper Tillman Ryan. David Thomas Sabot. Graydon Lane Sanchez Osorio. Samuel Matthew Scarce. Lila Mason Shank. Sydney Gray Scoggins. Aubrey Grace Sewell. Hunter Laurel Shaw. Kelani Grace Sharrow. Charles Miller Silberman. Elizabeth Nicole Silva. Ezra Augustin Adam Sixto. Ella Claire Stalvey. Madeline Claire Stefanik. Thomas Allen Stickley. Anna Hamilton Stoddard. George Howell Stowe. Robert Maxwell Turner. Shuhui Henry Wong. Mary Harper Warren. It's my honor to present you the class of 2026. Please be seated and welcome rising senior Marguerite Pippinger, Chair-elect of the Honor Council, to welcome the class of 2026 to the upper school.
High school. High school seems pretty intimidating to a kid growing up. So as a kid, I saw high school as something to fear. I constantly heard about how grueling those 4 years were and watched movies where kids got shoved into lockers. Luckily, at Baylor, only middle school has lockers, so y'all are past that possibility. But let's talk about middle school. When I began my journey here at Baylor, I was scared of everything. Paralyzed by fear, my anxiety, even just around going to school, almost got the best of me. But it didn't. See, when I was going through all this, I really saw how much people wanted me to succeed. I even had teachers who would eat lunch with me in their classrooms because they knew how I hated how overwhelming the dining hall was. All of that support was what got me through that hard time. So in 8th grade, thinking about high school made me very uncomfortable. I truly believed that those next 4 years would be completely different from the 3 that I just finished, and that terrified me. I was scared that this new transition would be like the rocky one that I had going into middle school. I didn't want things to change. I liked my friends, I liked being in Barks, and I liked the small community that was middle school. When I talked to my parents about worries surrounding high school, they told me, "You're not the same person you were when you entered middle school." When they said this, it made me think about how much middle school had truly shaped me. You are all not the same kids you were when you came into 6th grade. You have learned, made mistakes, and grown, and all within the 4 walls of Barks Hall. The second I started high school, I realized how much I loved it, and I know all of you will love it too. You will meet new people from all around the world and get to know people who you maybe never got the chance to know during the middle school. So my advice to you would be to make the most out of the opportunities that are given to you. Carve out your own path and make the most of it, because trust me, it's nothing to be scared of. Welcome to the upper school. We are so glad to have you here. Now please rise to join us in the singing of the Alma Mater led by Miss Beth Duroy. The lyrics are printed at the back of your program.
Please stand. Let us pray. Dear God, who teaches us, helps us grow, and guides our learning, we thank you for yet another year here at Baylor, for our time in Baylor Middle School, for parents, teachers, and those who have helped us along our journey, and for all the many gifts that we have received here at Baylor. Here at our school and out in the community, you created all of us to do good work. Help us to continue to learn as we move on to high school. Help us to take what we learned during our time in middle school and to continue to build on it, and help us to keep working toward our goals and to show gratitude towards each other so that we can become stronger people. In your name we pray, amen.
I've done that before, and it was fine. But I don't know why middle school intimidated me so much.
Oh, trust me, I understand. If I had to,